Okay, in this video, we're going to be talking about the out-of-nowhere return of Jose Aldo at UFC Brazil 301, and we're going to be reacting to Jon Jones meeting with Tom Aspinall and how much Jon Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall. It is so obvious. Let's start off straight away with Jose Aldo coming back to save UFC 301 down in Brazil. This is so out of nowhere, and all of UFC Brazil 301 seems to feel so out of nowhere. I think we were talking this week on this channel about how UFC 300 is creating this like black hole of sucking everything into it, sucking everything around it down into it. And UFC 301 sort of felt like that. Before this week, there was no main title announced. There was no main event announced for it, no title fight. It really did feel like the entire UFC was waiting for Alex Pereira to see if he did survive UFC 300, to see if he could come back to defend at 301. The entire event just felt kind of flat. And all of a sudden, yesterday, we get this news. Alexander Pantoja versus Steve Erceg. Steve Erceg in his like fourth fight in the UFC, getting a UFC title shot. Not crazy, cannot complain about it. If you're a Khabib fan, don't forget, Khabib won his title against Al Iaquinta, ranked number 11th, New York City salesman. So stranger things in the UFC have happened. We've literally had people come out of tough and step into the UFC and fight for a championship straight away. But certainly in the modern era, let's call it, since we've had the modern belts wrapped around people's waists, this is something a little bit different for the UFC to see Steve Erceg get such a big jump up. But hey, it is what it is. This video is about Jose Aldo and him coming back. Number one, the Brazilian fans get to redeem themselves. They have been known as such a trash crowd for such a long time, and I am so angry at them still for the way they treated Glover Teixeira on his way out. So to see them actually have a chance to have one of the legends come back from the Hall of Fame, fight in the octagon in Brazil, maybe it's a one and done, I'm not sure, but they actually get a chance to show some appreciation to their own kin, okay? They're meant to have this whole culture of ride or die. You know, UFC 1, they literally came in with the arms on of each other's shoulders, doing the Congo line into the cage, and we just have not seen that from Brazil lately. So it's good for them to be able to get it back. How is Jose actually going to do in the fight? I think he's going to do great. I think Jose Aldo is going to do great in the fight, right? He's going to be fighting Jonathan Martinez. Jonathan Martinez is known for those leg kicks. I think Aldo is going to be able to handle those leg kicks, no problem. I think then he's going to start to pull away in the boxing. The last time that we saw him in a fight was in Masvidal's Game Bred Boxing, and he looked great. He looked phenomenal. I think at 38, he's still going to look good. I don't know if this is a one or done, but I think he's still going to look just as good and can be competitive in this fight, and I would be betting for him to win. I would be putting money on Aldo if I was a UFC bettor. The biggest thing that I am looking forward to, is to see the Aldo celebration one more time. See those knees flying into the air, see him jump the cage, hug the fans. I have such a big place in my heart as a UFC fan for Jose Aldo. Like, from everything that we saw in his career to how we would see him win titles, to the wars that he put on for us, the fans, and then that moment when he actually entered the UFC Hall of Fame last time we were in Brazil. It is so amazing to see him back. Also, let's just point this out, right? We have had Jose Aldo retire, be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and now come back into the UFC and fight again before Conor McGregor has gotten back into the cage. What the fuck is that unemployed cokehead doing, okay? Conor, get back into the cage. I don't care how many fights you have left on your contract. I don't care that you want to be a free agent. Get back into the goddamn cage, Conor. Also, maybe the last thing, talking about Jose Aldo coming back. There's all this talk going on right now about Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, and now Mike Tyson is going to win, and if Mike Tyson doesn't win, it's completely rigged. All the boxing fans seem to be 100% getting on Mike Tyson's train and backing him up. I want to see the same crazy rhetoric from the MMA fans here. I would love to see the same crazy rhetoric from the MMA fans. So Jose is like 38. So what? He's not Mike Tyson. He's not 160 or 170 or whatever Mike Tyson is. So if we're going to back Tyson up, let's back Jose up, okay? And that's all. And that's the last of that. Now, the next thing that I wanted to look at was this little piece here. Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall met at an event somewhere, and they had a little face-off. Let's watch it together.
Hello, just saying hello. Nice to meet you too.
The arm on the shoulder.
I would love to, man.
I would hope so.
Respect, man.
All the best.
Respect.
All the best.
We'll do a quick picture.
Sure.
Yeah?
Let's get it.
A face-off. Just no, okay. No, saying hello. Just saying hello. Nice to meet you too.
The way Jon Jones just tries to push Aspinall's arm off of his shoulder is very, very telling. And when Aspinall is trying to do a face-off and Jones is like, I don't want to do a face-off. Firstly, let's look at who the bigger man is here. Now, granted, they're both in shoes, but look at who the taller and bigger man is here, because it doesn't matter what it says on the UFC stats. We know that the UFC lies when it does its stats. It looks like Tom Aspinall is the taller guy. And straight up, the way that Jon Jones is reacting in this situation makes me feel like Jon Jones is scared to fight Tom Aspinall. He does not want that fight, okay? Jon Jones is quite happy calling himself the greatest mixed martial artist of all time, even though he sort of lost to Dominic Reyes and he couldn't knock out Thiago Santos on one leg. But he is quite happy calling himself the greatest mixed martial artist of all time, the greatest heavyweight, the proper heavyweight champion. But he will not fight this up-and-coming contender, Tom Aspinall. And getting face-to-face with Tom Aspinall has probably just pushed Jon Jones away even more. He is probably feeling even more scared and does not want to take that fight. To me, this is all just ego and posturing from Jon Jones. And even the way that he goes ahead and throws his hand off his shoulder. Look at it again. It all just seems like he is trying to keep him away from him in every way that he can. He probably did not want this little media day, this little moment to happen. It's just going to keep creating this fan want and fan demand to have Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall, and Jon Jones is going to have to keep ducking Tom Aspinall. I don't know how you could be a Jon Jones fan and claim that he is the GOAT of the sport when he does not want to fight an up-and-coming contender, the interim champion in his own division. Right, that is all I got on the MMA news. Right, that is all I got on the MMA news of the day. Let me know down there in the comments. Jose Aldo coming back. What do you think? Good or bad? And Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. Who wins that fight? Does that fight ever happen? Leave it down there in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. And of course, I will see you all in the next one.